Factsverse presents 8-year-old comes to school with a frozen head, and when the teacher looks closer, his heart breaks. First though, help us out by clicking that like button, and also be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos. It's very important that children attend school. Without an education, it can be impossible to find a job in the real world, and that can make it difficult to be successful in life. Unfortunately, some kids in places all over this planet can't go to school, and there are others who are forced to go to school in terrible and unsafe conditions. And that was the case with an 8-year-old boy in China named Wang Fuman. When this 8-year-old boy came to school with a frozen head, his teacher looked even closer, and his heart broke. Feng lives in the Xinjia province of China. At just 8 years old, Wang had already been through more than most kids his age. When his mother left the family, his father had to find a job that could support the entire family. Since there weren't many good-paying jobs in the province, his father had to move to a larger city, and that meant that Wang had to live with his grandmother, whose home was 3 miles from the school. The school did not provide transportation, and his grandmother didn't drive, and that meant the young boy had to walk for 4 hours each day to get to school. This wasn't a big deal for him during the fall and spring, but during the winter, man, that's tough on a little guy. During the winter, the temperatures there can drop down to 15 degrees in the province where he lives. Well, one morning in particular, it was very cold. Wang's grandmother tried to get him to stay home from school, but Wang refused. He wanted to go to school. He said he had a test that day and he didn't want to miss it. He walked all the way to school in the freezing cold. When he got there, his hair and his eyebrows were literally frozen. This 8-year-old came to school with a frozen head. You thought I was talking about him bringing another head. Nope, we're talking about his own head. It was frozen. And the teacher looked even closer. And, well, Wang's cheeks were burning from the cold. He could barely hold a pencil because his hands were so cold. And that didn't stop him, though. With frozen hands, he completed his test. Seeing how cold Wang was broke his teacher's heart, and the teacher went to the principal and explained the situation. When the principal saw Wang's frozen condition, he felt he really needed to do something. When Wang went to the principal's office, the principal took a photo of him, and he wanted people to see how difficult it was for the students in the school because the school system didn't provide transportation. The photo's heartbreaking. The principal posted the photo on Facebook and it quickly went viral. The photo was shared, commented on, and liked hundreds of thousands of times. Rather than missing a test, he was willing to practically freeze to death just to take it. I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, I wouldn't want to go to school just because I was tired that morning. Could you imagine going to school, walking 4 hours one direction just to go to school, to take a test? I don't know anybody when I was growing up that would have done that. Going to school and getting there safely, that should not be a privilege, it should be a right. All children should have the ability to get to school warm and safe so that they can focus on their studies rather than worrying about walking home in freezing temperatures. Keep in mind, he also had to walk back home for 4 hours in the same freezing cold. People are always saying that our children are the future, right? Well, one day it's going to be these kids who run the world. If the children of the world, if they're not able to get to school safely, their education's going to be limited. If kids all over the world have limited access to school because of the conditions or transport issues, how can we expect them to fix the world's problems and make it a better place? If this photo of Wang does anything, you can only hope that it'll bring attention to the problems in Wang's province and other provinces like that. The little boy shouldn't have to suffer each day just to get an education, and neither should any other child. If there is anyone who can help the children who are struggling this way, the time to act is now. The more school a child misses, the harder it'll be for them to get a well-rounded education as time goes on. Someone needs to do something now to make sure children all over the world have access to a proper education. Subscribe for more.